Breaking. The Ombudsman says that as early as next month, a plunder case may be filed against former House Speaker Martin Romualdez and former Senate President Francis Cheese Escudero. Flood control related in so many ways and may even be traced back as far as the term of former Speaker Lord Alan Velasco. Now let's pause and let's talk law in the headlines. Under Republic Act number 7080, plunder is not about drafting a budget. Hindi ito tungkol sa paglalagay ng line items. Hindi ito tungkol sa negotiation ng allocation. The law is very clear. There must be amassing, accumulating, or acquiring ill-gotten wealth, at least 50 million pesos, through a series of overt criminal acts like kickbacks, diversion, and or misappropriation. As clarified in Estrada versus Sandigan Bayan, the heart of plunder is personal enrichment. So again, simple lang. Sa budget process, nasaan ang pera? Because budgeting is authorization, not disbursement. Plano pa lang yan. Framework pa lang. Wala pang perang lumalabas. Wala pang perang pumapasok sa bulsa. Without actual enrichment, there is no plunder. Now, let's go to Escudero. Let's set the record straight. Si Escudero ang isa sa mga unang nag-call out kay Martin Romualdez.
Isang tao lamang ang nasa likod ng script at sarswelang ito. Pues, sasabihin ko, Martin Romualdez. Bakit hindi sinasama si Martin Romualdez sa anumang investigasyon? DOJ man, NBI man, AMLAC man.
When issues on the budget started surfacing, siya ang nagbukas ng usapan. Hindi siya bahagi ng pananahimik. Siya pa nga ang unang nagsalita. So bakit ngayon magkasama sila sa isang plunder narrative? Because timeline pa lang, hindi na nagtutugma. The so-called allocable funds system began taking shape during the 2023-24 budget cycle. At that time, Escudero was not yet Senate President. Wala siyang control sa Senate. Hindi siya ang nagli-lead ng BICAM. Hindi siya ang may hawak ng proseso. So the question is not just legal, it's obvious. Bakit siya kasama? Now, let's talk about where power really sat. During that same period, the budget was shaped in the House of Representatives, and at the center of that power was Martin Romualdez. Let's be honest, this was not ordinary leadership. This was concentrated political power. A speaker who is cousin to the president, wielding influence not just over the budget, but across departments, priorities, and releases. Sino ba ang lalaban? Sino ba ang tatanggi? In that kind of environment, systems don't just pass through process. They are driven, structured, and protected. And when issues like those projects, as flagged by Secretary Vince Dizon and Senator Ping Lacson, are largely traced to 2023 and 2024, then the timeline becomes even more critical. So again, why is Escudero being placed side by side with Romualdez? Is it because pareho silang may role? Or because placing them together makes the narrative easier to sell? Because let's be clear, hindi pwedeng pagdikitin ang nag-call out at ang may control para lang gumaan ang tingin sa isa. That is not how criminal liability works. And then, biglang isasama si Velasco? We've seen this play before. Kapag umiinit sa kasalukuyan, i-extend ang timeline, ihalo ang mga pangalan, ibalik sa nakaraan, hanggang mawala ang malinaw na pananagutan. At lagi ang ending na pupunta sa narrative laban sa Duterte administration. Tama na. This is not accountability. That is propaganda dressed up as prosecution. Because as emphasized in People versus Sandigan Bayan, the Jinggoy Estrada case, plunder requires a clear, connected scheme. Hindi ito pwedeng sabog. Hindi ito pwedeng lahat isama. So at this point, one thing is clear. This is not about proving a case yet. This is about shaping a story. And in that story, the distinction between Escudero and Romualdez is being deliberately blurred. But the law does not allow that because liability is personal, participation is specific, and power is never equal. Another day, another Regal POV.